Hi. Quick little chit chat. You want to chit chat? We're gonna talk about it. Getting back on the right track, finding your path, aligning with everything is not spontaneous. It's not gonna be like spontaneous. Like, it's not gonna be instant. You may have instant moments of realizations and stuff, but like aligning your life to get exactly back to where it needs to be, or you feel it needs to be, it's not gonna be instant. It's not gonna be like boom. That wouldn't make any sense, would it? I don't think so. I'm like nervous. Why am I nervous? So, hi. When you're not on your path, when you're feeling disconnected, when you're feeling unsure and lost and just really out of touch with everything, what I do is I just completely unplug myself from everything that's programmed in my brain. I don't want to shine a light on what doesn't serve me anymore. It's all I'm seeing, right? You're so conditioned to being lost. It's really difficult to completely shift your focus, but you're never gonna if you don't try, right? It's just how it is. Life is confusing and painful, and we are lost sometimes, and it gets really, where is it? It gets very difficult, but in order to find, you must lose, right? In order to gain, you must forget. In order to, that truck, hold on, give me a brief moment. In order to sort your life out and completely align, you must let go. You must make room. There's not going to be much room for growth if you're just stuck under the dirt, man. You know, you are the, I don't know about this lighting. You are the only backbone in your life. There's nothing else that's going to be able to support you like you support yourself. If you are fed up with your day-to-day life, if you're dreading tomorrow, if you're like, I'm just so sick of my everyday life, it is just like, I don't want to be a part of it, but I have to because it's just life. And you want to just completely go to bed for like weeks, yeah. It gets dark, man. Like I said earlier, disconnect yourself from everything you know. Literally forget everything you know. Just kidding. But truly, like, what are you conditioned to think? That your life is miserable? Because why? Like, why do you think your life is miserable? Do you dread waking up every morning? Why? Like, you have choices in life. Sometimes we have to do certain things, obviously. Instead of being like, another day. Oh. Be like, another day. I get to live. I get to breathe. I get to walk. I have legs I can walk with, man. I can walk down the street. I can eat the food that I want because that truck is back. So instead of dreading tomorrow, instead of dreading the next day, so tomorrow, just repeating myself, looking at it like, ugh, I have to do this. Be like, oh, I get to do this. It really shifts everything. Looking forward to just going back to bed because your brain is off and you don't have to think about anything. I was like at a point in my life where that was the highlight of my day. That was the peak of my day, going back to sleep. There's nothing wrong with liking go to bed. Like, I love doing bed. I love sleeping. Warm, comfy bed, put me in it, wrap me up, I'm taking a nap. I was just dreading the next day. I was like, the bed is where I belong. That is where I'm the most comfortable, at my best. That's what I thought. So it's like in my head, I'm seeing a person walking and like a chain attached to their wrist and they're dragging something. That's what I'm seeing. Why am I out of breath? I'm a healthy girl. I have asthma. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just talking a lot. Hold on. Give me a second. What is it about your day-to-day life that's making you feel lost? Really your decision. It's really nobody else has the power. Nobody else has the power but you. So if you're miserable and you're feeling lost and you're feeling like you don't know anything, and if the highlight of your day is going back to bed, you have to like force yourself. Sometimes even what helps me is like yelling at myself, not in like a bad way, but looking in the mirror and like screaming at yourself and being like, I can do this, or like even just, you can be corny, be corny, okay? Life isn't meant to be so serious all the time, be corny and be weird. Sometimes I'm like, Sarah, and I yell at myself, because being able to hear myself talk about it, it like wires my brain in the way that it's supposed to. Just be like, no, shut up, I got this, I got it. Like, my heart starts racing, I'm nervous about something. That's just a reminder that I'm alive and I get to breathe and I get to do the thing. That's just a reminder. That's just, like, when my heart starts racing really fast because I'm nervous about something, I'm like, okay, I'm alive. Like, that, if that's all there is for me to like ground myself with, then that's all there is. If you are wired a certain way, if you're wired to think like, I'm miserable, I'm dreading. Cat. She thinks this is a game. Oh. Whether that's like a hard childhood, you know, there's so many factors that could play a part in why you feel so terrible. Sometimes you just gotta lose something and learn something. Sometimes you just gotta like gain knowledge of the situation, like a breakup, family trauma, whatever the situation is. I used to have so much pain stored inside of me. I thought I was having a really rough night, and I realized so many people were embarrassed to be around me, to be seen in public around me. So many people were embarrassed about that, and I'm just gonna come out and say it. I have a hair loss condition that doesn't affect my life anymore, which I'm so grateful for, but the majority of my life I didn't have hair, okay? I didn't have hair on my head, and it looked a little funky. Like, when it would grow back in weird ways, it looked funky, and it wasn't like, it was all people saw me for. I thought every time I went in public with my family or my friends, they were embarrassed to be around me, but it's like, they weren't. It was a terrible time of my life, and I sometimes I wish I did have hair growing up, because I didn't, like, I was weird and ugly. That was my reality. I was weird and ugly. I had to lose that mindset of like, people are embarrassed to be around me because of the way I look. There's a train. I didn't have the best life growing up. A lot of us didn't. A lot of us have had like really shitty childhoods, like really bad childhoods. Cat! And fine, you can come in. You're not gonna get in the closet either. Yes, lay down. Can you see her? Oh my god, she's so cute. You're not gonna leave now, are you? It's just the sun just came out. Happy Monday, man. My genetics just said, hey, big arms. I guess you guys can come in now, but just don't get in the closet. As corny as you think it is, as corny as it is to like talk to yourself in the mirror and like look at yourself and make eye contact with yourself and be like, hey, this cat, I'm worth it. I'm capable. I am willing to make room for growth and opportunities in my life. I am sick and tired of being stuck in this repetition of misery. You gotta say those things to yourself. You gotta be like, that's my coffee. Scram. Like, how else are you supposed to believe it? You can't always expect people to tell you what you want to hear. There is a crazy amount of light that's in the world that you just have to open your eyes to. You just have to like be willing to look at it. This may seem a little weird, but if you don't see value in your days, if you don't see value in, that coffee's churning in my stomach. Start, there's no rules for this. Not that I know. Like, none of us were given a handbook. There's no one. Why is it like that? Unfortunately in life, we weren't given a handbook. There was no instructions included. And so we had to write our own. We write our own story. As cringy, as corny as that sounds, we do. Just hear me out for 10 seconds, please. You are literally in charge of writing your own story. You need encouragement. You need inspiration. But you can't have other things dictate your life. The moment you realize the lighting in this video changed. The moment you realize you're like sabotaging yourself or whatever the case is, literally, like, you have to like physically and verbally contain yourself. If you're like, I'm gonna text my ex Throw your phone. Don't break it. Maybe that's not the best advice, but you know what I mean? Get rid of what's gonna bring that past thing back. We didn't ask to be here, but we are, and it's super dope, and I think we should like take advantage of the fact that like the littlest things in life, the littlest tiny thing, appreciating the little things more when you make room for growth. It is a blessing. It is like scientifically insane to what we know that we exist, and it's like, wow, like that's so dope that we can, there's no rules to creation. If you're just kind of living life day to day, it's just kind of like very stagnant, very boring. It's like, hey, that's my tray of little tiny things. Don't touch. If I'm starting to really feel like I'm getting back into like, I'm dreading tomorrow, another day, just getting through the week. Just one little habit every single day changes everything because it's opening a door that was closed. Anything could happen to any one of us at any time, like literally anything. We don't know. So my eyes like, do it now, you're gonna die. That hurts. Appreciating the moments that we have while they're still happening fully, because we're gonna look back and be like, damn, I was like not in that moment. I've had so many moments in my life where I was like that, like really good opportunities that were somewhat just ended up being disappointing because I was in such a bad headspace. I should have appreciated that moment so much more than I did, but the only thing that I have for that is just the memories of the situation. You know what I mean? Honey, no, you're staying in here. When I was a kid, I used to think, even not even just a kid, just like a teenager who was struggling, I was like, I tried to navigate this feeling and I couldn't understand why I felt this way. I was so disappointed that I was being offered help or like being offered guidance, because it was the very proof that I was struggling. I feel like this video is way long. I wanted it to be 5 minutes long and I'm still talking. I know you're capable because everybody is. I feel like I always talk in circles. I'm not looking at it like, oh, I'm disappointed because I'm disconnected from everything around me. I don't belong here. Look at it in a positive way. Say that in a positive way. I'm disconnected from everything around here because I don't belong here. See how big the energy change was in those two sentences? I felt so guilty being happy, even if it was just laughing, because I was so lost. I mean, obviously, like I said, we're all lost when we're 13. But no child should have to feel guilty for being happy. No child should ever have to feel guilty for laughing, for smiling, for having a good time. No child. Every child deserves to have the space to feel all of their feelings completely and with no conditions. Would child you feel comfortable in a room with you? And would they look up to you? Would they be proud of who you are now? That's your kickstart. I'm fairly young still. I'm pretty young in terms of like years. But I know a lot about myself now. I kind of know the direction I want my life to go. I don't know my destiny. I don't know my final stop, because I don't think I have one. I don't think I have like what I meant to do as a finale. See life as a bunch of experiences, a bunch of like laughter and like opportunity. I was just floating in space. I was space dust. We all were. We get the chance to live. You want to like really feel things all the way. Stop looking at life like I'm just getting by. A positive energy. You walk into a room, be the reason that the room has good vibes. Deeper conversations. Get more curious with life. Get more like observant. Okay. People are gonna be unnecessarily mean for no reason. People are just gonna say things to be mean, and it's like, can you not do that? I accept that there's so many different philosophical, whatever that means. And so I'm just like, maybe there is a meaning, but since I'm not aware of the meaning of life, I'm gonna make my own meaning, which is like having fun and creating. I have somewhere that I'm gonna arrive to. I have multiple places I'm gonna arrive to. I have multiple checkpoints in life. It's not just, life is not a one size fits all, and that's why the education system is screwed up, and that's why the And that's why capitalism drives me nuts, because not everybody has the same life. It's like, can you interpret that? You start appreciating everything, and then you're fully in love with life. And you'll love being alive, and you won't dread tomorrow. There's no rules to live your life. Having a moral compass, that's kind of all it takes. Ego versus soul. Your ego sees life as a competition, a race, and your soul sees life as a gift, an opportunity. Your ego is so caught up with the prize versus your soul is just in love with the journey. This isn't a race, this isn't a competition, okay? This is for fun, you know? Play. Just play.